Oh, sorry, guys.
Drew, you're muted.
Yeah,
Good. There.
that's it now. There's about a 5-second delay. I think that's what it is. It's because it's
Oh,
mixing us up.
yeah.
Welcome in, everybody. There's a few of you here now. Let's see who's all here. Tonight we are streaming about paranormal, guys. We are streaming about a few of the things in paranormal that maybe isn't so nice and not of the human form. So we are joined tonight by my beautiful sister Sherry, who's PWI Spiritual Investigations. We're also joined by Mystical Love and Light, who is our sister Rochelle. So everybody who's in the chat, welcome in. Remember to subscribe to each other. You are all blue, I do believe. So make sure you are subscribing to each other and to Mystical Love and Light and to Sherry. So welcome in, everybody. I'll let the sisters say hello as well. On you go, ladies.
Hello, angels.
Hello, everybody. Drew, I put
It's
in
nice
there
to
for
be
Kurt
here
in
on
case
Saturday
Curtis comes
again.
in.
Yeah, we're meant to have Curtis up tonight, guys. I have sent him the link. He was active an hour ago in Messenger, so he's maybe popped in to see if the link was there yet. But I've sent him it anyway, so he's welcome to come up if he does come in. So let's say hello to everybody, sisters. Who have we got here just now?
We got
We've
Kim,
got our Cam. Welcome in, Cam.
Kerry,
Welcome
Bud
in, Kerry
Files.
Smith.
Scott, Bud Files,
Welcome in,
Hello,
Amora as
everybody.
well. Welcome in.
Amora.
Welcome in, Scott.
If I disappear from the screen real quick, it's because the dogs are barking. I'm going to check it out. Y'all know why?
Yeah,
Just so
we
you
know why.
And all of Sister Drew's channels.
Yeah, welcome in, everybody. We are going out tonight on Facebook on Mandrina Brown channel, and we are going out on Twitch as well, guys, just to see if we can get an interest on Twitch. Well, I do get a few people on Twitch that do watch, so I'm just trying to feel out that app just now to see if it's something that we can maybe take further for some of the witchy stuff. But tonight, guys, we are going to talk about paranormal. A lot of you do remember Mike the Naked Bigfoot, who was all of our friends, were comrade, were friends, were protector. Now he's in the spirit world. He did pass away last October, I do believe it was, on Halloween. So, not last October, sorry, the year before. So we all miss him.
Yeah.
And I have got an interview out there with Mike, and I do believe Sister Sherry has as well. And there's a lot of live streams where we've been in together on the panels and different things. So Mike's purpose in going to YouTube, guys, was because he wanted to let you understand. Mike knew he was going to pass away, so he always wanted to write a book and put all his experiences into a book and publish it, of course. But because he knew he wasn't going to be here that long, he wanted a platform to put a lot of his stories out on. So he took to YouTube and started sharing a lot of his experiences on there. And he was a great person to sit in live to listen to live. He had a lot of stories to tell, but he tried to stick to the one story he was telling you. So he would have this drinking game, and he would say to you, if he was going off track to maybe tell a different story, he would say, that's a story for another time, and you were to take a drink. So it was really interesting being on a live stream with Mike, but his purpose of being there was to tell his story about all the different things that he did. Because what he was a voodoo priest and a hood on. I do believe the word is a hood on. So he was well respected in New Orleans and different places where he did learn. But a lot of his people that he looked up to and learned from had passed away and things. So he wanted to share some of that knowledge that they had also taught him. So I have started documenting a lot of the entities, the experiences and things that Mike had. I've started to write them all down, guys. And I came across an interesting one that sparked this live stream tonight, was the one about the shadow people. Because we all assume that shadow people are humans or that they're maybe like an echo of the past and different things. So I'm going to tell a story about the shadow people that Mike told on his channel. And Mike's channel is linked below, guys, for you all to go and check out after this stream, because he told amazing stories that were all true. What he would do is, because he was a voodoo priest, he would exchange some of his oils, some of his herb bags for knowledge in some of the hollers and things in Tennessee, where people are very quiet about all the old ways. Also in the Appalachian Mountains and things, he went deep, deep in there because he knew everybody. That's where he was from, I do believe. And he would get to know all the witchy stuff. And so he was a very interesting man. So a lot of the stories that he did get knowledge from, swapping his wares with, were really, really true stories, because people didn't really want to ever tell them. So Mike had a way of talking these people into telling their stories. Welcome in, Dave. It's nice to see you here. Dave's on Facebook. Let's put up his
Hello, Dave.
comment.
Dave
Welcome.
Adam.
Welcome,
Welcome
Dave.
in, Dave. And what you're saying, I've experienced the elemental world and the spirit world at a very physical way all my life, and still do, and I'm 65. Interesting. So Mike had great stories, guys. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to tell the one about the shadow man that he had an experience with. So a lot of the stuff that Mike tells us, he'll tell you a lot of the things out there about the shadow people who are the human ones, and maybe the shadow people that's maybe aliens and things. But this was an experience that Mike had himself with a shadow entity, and it wasn't human. And he had been warned about this. So I'm going to read it from my notes, guys, and I hope that you understand it from my notes. It'll only take a couple of minutes to read out. So let's read out what he's got. So he did call this entity the Shade. So it wasn't a shadow figure as such. This shadow figure would take the human form to be relatable to people. So when the person that Mike learned from, when he passed away, Mike was the one that was chosen to sit vigil at his graveside for 3 nights and 3 days. And the reason that they do that in the voodoo world is so that nothing can come along and steal their soul. Also, so that if that spirit, so that if that man who's in that grave gets confused, maybe he'll come out of his grave and get confused, and he'll need reminding that he's passed away. So it's for things like that, to protect his spirit. Mike had took on that job of making sure that his spirit stayed in his grave, made sure that he was to go wherever it wanted to go. So Mike had set up a kind of vigil around his grave for 3 days and 3 nights, and it was full of candles. He had candles all around it, and had himself a nice little setup. So he had people coming and checking on them from their voodoo kind of, we're called a clan, so let's say their voodoo clan, right? So from their voodoo clan, just to check that he was okay over the 3 days and that he didn't need anything and that type of thing. So on the first night, guys, Mike had came across this shade. So let me read my notes to you what I said, right? Shadow people. They don't belong to one thing, they are many entities. A lot of misconception behind shadow people. It can be something more specific, and you don't treat all them the same way. Some do what want to scare you, but other shadow beings may not. So this is what my notes from that live stream that Mike had done. Shade. Once once not a human spirit, right? One human shadow people. Let's just put my notes. One's human spirit, right? And one's not human spirit. Right. Once human shadow people can be friendly, so can be called shades. As it can be a memory of life, a once human life soul, their human souls move on. But the energy was that strong that it leaves a shade. It's a part of that person, so if they were friendly, the memory of the life that was is friendly. But if they were negative, the shade will also be negative. They're not highly intelligent, but can speak words. They also make things disappear. So this is the story about that. This is the ones about the owl that I'm going to tell you about. The owl, which is the one I'm talking about. To be negative, they're not highly intelligent, but they can speak words. They also make things disappear and reappear because they hover their hand over the object and it disappears. They interact some with humans. You can't rid a place of a shade. It stays there as if it's a skiff of a memory, a shadow of their memory. They can pull their energy together to form the silhouette. They can manifest a hat or eyes, but not much more. They also can manifest the shade to look like an animal or fade into the shadow of something on a wall. They think they're alive, so knock things over and get angry when they can't interact, like a small child taking a tantrum. Christina from Australia had one of these in her home. Right, now this one is the non human shadow, right? People. They can follow people and attach to you. They are human and alien to us, and humans are there as multi-dimensional when a two worlds collide. A point in our dimension that so happens to be overlapping another dimension. So therefore a portal opens. So these can be hyperdimensional beings and harass, follow people. They're more likely to be seeking our energy, as that's what they are. They present themselves as humanoid as they are reflections of us. I believe not, Mike, that is a yin yang on a being of spirit. They view us as inferior to them. We're toys to them. We're their entertainment. They neither care about us or love us. They are there to play with us. You can't make them go away because they're mislabeled as ghosts, but they're aliens to us in our universe. The ones that come at night and interact with people, such as they feel messed with and observed,
Drews.
could be the alien ones. Right, this is the one I'm talking about, the lemur. This is the one about the shadow that Mike came across. The lemur shadow creatures that live in
It's
all
strange,
cemeteries.
sis,
Pardon?
because when you're saying certain things, you're cutting in and out like something's trying to disrupt what you're saying.
Mary Carey
Probably.
says it's muffled.
Yeah, like muffled these sounds,
Oh,
and we kept hearing weird
interesting.
noises as
Hey,
well.
Yankee Kyle.
Hey,
Interesting.
Yankee.
Wow. Right, I'll read this one right, and hopefully when it replays, it maybe sort itself
Okay,
out because
Drew.
sometimes StreamYard does that. But
Drew,
that's
right there.
interesting, isn't it?
Drew, right there.
Yeah.
Drew, when you're facing us, it's clear. When you're looking away, it's muffled.
Yeah.
Right, right, I'll pull the mic down a bit, right? Right, let me do that. Maybe I'm not on the mic. Let me see if I'm
I
maybe
thought I
on.
heard that Amora, sis. I thought I did hear a scratching sound when she was talking at one point. That's why I looked like, yeah.
Let me just see if I'm maybe not on the audio of the mic. It's maybe the audio of the camera.
Try it again
And
and
hello,
just like
Yankee.
face this way,
Yeah,
if
well,
it's
right.
possible.
See, that's no, see, it's on the mic.
Hey,
That's
Harry
weird.
Poppins.
Welcome in, everybody. I do apologise. This is the one I wanted to tell you anyway, was the one about the lemma. I just got them all mixed up there. Sorry about that, guys. This is the one that Mike had the experience with in the cemetery. And Mike believed that these actually linger in all cemeteries. So this will be interesting, guys, to see this. I hope you can understand my notes okay. I'll try and make sure that you are hearing me, right? So the lemur shadow. Lemur shadow creatures that live in all cemeteries. They hide in the shadows of the trees, the tombstones. They live in all cemeteries and are there because they are born there. They hunt there. They feed off tragedy, suffering, death, and sadness. Mike's Macumba told him that have no shape until you give them shape. Mike's vigil to Papa Thomas, that was who he was laying vigil for 3 days, Paranormal PhD. He heard them moving through the grass, scouring around, and he heard them chat. He took some candles from the grave. This is the first night. He took some candles from the grave to his feet so he could see before they touched him. Talking English but fast, he could hear them. His friends from the bio told them about the lemma. This was when they came to visit the next day, to watch his shadow at night. In night two, it happened again, so he moved closer to the candles and he saw it reach out the darkness like a child's hand, but very long fingers, trying to catch his foot. He heard it say yes because Mike was froze but he kicked the dirt up and it puffed away as if into smoke. He pulled his feet up and all the noises stopped for the night. On the third night,
Yeah, Mara.
he lit loads more candles and there was more of them turned up. But the shadows of the candles made it worse because there was more shadow. So they had more shadow to reach Mike. The shadow people was reaching up through Mike's shadow as it sent a bolt of cold right up through him because it touched him. It managed to touch him right up through him and almost made his heart stop for a moment. He saw little yellow pinpricks of eyes and had recognised them as the lemur. He saw a little mouth open and smile at him. This was on his leg, but he pushed it out and wasn't sure if it was fear of them. He jumped up when his friends returned the next day because he was knocked out. When it touched him, he kind of knocked himself out. So he didn't know if he had knocked himself out or the fright of them touching him had knocked him out. So when they people turned up the next day, he was lying on the grass where his shadow would have been. On the grass, where his shadow would have been the night before. The grass was all burnt and it was all sizzled. It looked like the trace of his shadow. His friend said he was touched by the lemur, and on his legs there was a tiny handprint, not like a doll's handprint. He said it took a piece of him that night and brought fear to to him that night. Bring fear to someone to bring fear to him, and the plague fear on him and the shadow form of him. He showed him the ritual to do to get rid of the lemur from his leg, and now Mike has a scar on his leg that he put over a tattoo, but the tattoo was actually, and I'm going to talk about the tattoo was actually part of the ritual to get rid of the lemur. Because the scar was there where the lemur had touched him, he had to actually get a tattoo of a symbol or something, I think it was, so that the lemur couldn't come back to his leg. So I know I was a bit mambled up there, guys, but you can go over and watch Mike tell the story. He tells it much better than me, of course. But that was interesting, the way that the people told him about it. They said that these things lurk in the cemetery, seeking out people's souls. And because of Mike doing the dedication for 3 nights, it really piqued their interest. So therefore, they were trying to get him, and they did get him. You had to do a ritual and things on his leg to get the leg up, the lemur away from him. But in some cultures, they do not speak that word lemur. I do believe it's like in the deep Louisiana and things like that. They won't speak about it. See where like the voodoo place, the root is. They won't talk about it. It's one of those things that they keep kind of quiet. The only reason Mike got to know the story was he had been sitting in a cafe and I can't remember what it was. He said that he swapped or something, or that he done, and he managed to get the story out of these people sitting there. So it's very, very interesting. But if you guys get any stories or any you want to tell, what do you think of that one? Shadow people.
I thought it was informative on what you were reading. I mean, me and Sherry both have had experiences with shadow figures, shadow beings. There's so many names, ghost spirits, So it's.
But it's interesting that you always think that. Well, I tend to always think they're human. I always tend to think it's like a human spirit, maybe just try to disguise.
I've seen some shadow figures that I would swear they're like aliens, aliens. And I
think
took
that
a
was
picture.
Mike talked about as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I took a picture of one. I think I mentioned it on another video, and you could actually see the whole entire figure of the alien. And I've got it somewhere on my computer, but it's buried in thousands of pictures. And I've never really looked for it, but yeah, I took that.
Oh yeah, here definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Some extraterrestrials were showing dark figure. Obviously, like for the shadow people themselves, I think that, like Sister Drew said, there is a variety of them. Some of them are not negative, some of them are. Like, I've had experiences with positive shadow people, and I've had experiences with negative shadow people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, To be honest, I think that the black-eyed children kind of fit into that category as well, because sometimes,
Well,
even though
that's it.
there's
There's
crazy
many
colours,
forums.
the bodies and the faces, they don't always show that way. Sometimes they all come in dark masses until they want to show to you properly. I've had quite a few encounters that way.
That's where you rely on your instincts then, isn't it? If you see one, because you're going to instantly know if it's good or bad. So for all their shadow people is under one sentence or whatever, one title. There's so many different ones to it. So I'm going to start a little book. I'll probably because I watch the videos and I'm writing as I'm watching them. Sometimes I get the text a little bit mixed up, so I'll edit some of that I've done. But I'm going to do a lot of the other shadow beings, shadow entities that there is, because there's so many, and it just shows that there's some out there that really just. It's just a shadow blob, but it can turn into anything that you expect it to be. So if you think it's a shadowy, a spider, for example, it's going to be like a spider. It's just whatever you perceive it to be. So that's a scary one.
One day when I was driving home, I don't know if I'd mentioned this or not. Was bringing my brother back from I don't know, probably a doctor's visit or something, because I took him to all his doctors a visit. And I saw a child on the side of the road. And for those that's watching that don't know me very well, I can see spirits if they want to show themselves to me, and a lot of them manifest and like try to get me to look at them and stuff. Well, this was a little girl. Okay, when I say little, I don't know, maybe 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. I don't know, somewhere in through there. She was a young girl. But it was a spirit. And I started to stop, and my brother yelled at me, "No! No, it's a black-eyed child! No!" And he's yelling at me as I was slowing down. And he said, "That's a black-eyed child." Well, it scared him to the point that for him, he feared it. I, at that point, didn't feel the fear. So I didn't want to put my brother in a situation. So I said, okay. So we went on. Now, it's not like you're going to call the cops or something, because it's a spirit, obviously. And so we went on. Well, I never did say anything to Lee about it. And because there's a lot of spirits I see on the side of the road that I don't tell Lee about. Okay, so then one day Lee was driving home, and when he got home, he come running in. He's like, I tried to call you. And I said, what's going on? And he said, there was a little girl on the side of the road. And I said, yeah, I know. He goes, what do you mean you know? And I said, I've seen her spirit there. And he said, what was she wearing? So I told him what she was wearing, and it was the exact one that he saw. But the thing is when he got approached closer, she disappeared.
Wow.
She let him see her from a distance, but then she disappeared, once he got closer. And I said, I was with Rex one day, and we saw her, and Rex feared that it was a black-eyed child, and so we went on because he got too scared. But every now and then we'll look for her in that spot. She kind of shows up every now and then. Now, I don't know why my brother felt that it was, a black. Maybe he saw something I didn't. Of course, I'm driving and still, watching the road, and he had like eye contact. And he panicked and said, no, don't stop, just go, 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 go. So that was our experience with that situation.
See, that's creepy, because I know that I have seen the Hat Man, and the Hat Man's a form of a shadow figure, but that was completely different. I feel the Shadow Man's an entity, not a shadow man, if you know what I mean. It's like these shadow beings, let's call them shadow beings, the normal, typical spirit that you'll see around your home, or the spirits you'll see duck and dive in a cemetery and things. They look shadow beings. But I do believe that the Hat Man is a totally different form. I don't even think you could class him as a shadow being or anything, in my opinion. I think he's more an entity of his own. So to hear the fact that You see, that's another thing though where you can deep dive then, because Mike's saying in that video that he says his live stream that he tells the story that these entities can be anything that you want them to be. So if you're thinking to yourself that this entity could be Shadow Man, for example, it shows you that some of these beings, some of these manifestations of that energy, whatever that may be, can be anything your nightmare is. So that's why it's so important to know about these energies that's out there, guys. For a lot of us, it's spiritual, and a lot of us that go into cemeteries and different places. That's the purpose of doing these tonight, is because these little things that maybe start off as a little ball of energy we think's innocent enough, it could form into something that Mike experienced in these cemeteries. So be aware, is my word to caution. What's Amora saying? Think when you walk in, son, you cast a shadow. Maybe it's just part of us after we move on. Is people with our out the body or any being that have passed? Yeah, it just depends, doesn't it?
It can be, but there is negative. There are negative ones,
Oh
and
yeah.
you'll find that with a lot of the negative energies, they will portray and show in energies that you fear to try and get to you. Like Sister Mystical saying, the energy that they both see, her and Mr. Lee. Obviously, maybe it didn't stay showing to Mr. Lee, because obviously Mr. Lee's not got the abilities like Mystical, where Mystical would have been maybe something that she probably more would have tried to target, which is why the brother was like, no, 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 don't stop, like, keep going, like, because obviously that energy. And you'll find that with a lot of the negative energies, that's what they do. They do go after those that have got abilities and stuff, like people that are more open than that. They do try to affect them and try to manipulate them. Like I've had experiences with shadow people. I've had experiences with black-eyed children. One was at a woman's house that had a kid. The energy was out on a front yard, and it kept showing. And on the night that I turned up, this female black-eyed child turned up with two other black-eyed children.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And they don't have to touch you to be able to do anything. They only have to be in your presence, and they can affect you. And I found that, even though I did get rid of it.
I think that's more an alien thing then.
No. Black-eyed children are not alien, in my opinion. They are. I wouldn't say that they're positive. They're not positive at all. I would say that they are something from the descending darker side. Like they are an energy that is sent out to pull you, to capture you, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So they show as a child, because to most of us, we would be accepting to a child, wouldn't we? We would stop at the side of the road if we see a child standing there. If it was a normal entity energy, their proper form, we wouldn't stop. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
They can.
Scott said, my daughter said she saw one at my dad's house years ago. I didn't see it, but I heard footsteps outside my room and her room. I know my dad was asleep, so it wasn't him. See, things like that I do believe happen quite a lot in houses. I think that's more the human shadow people of the past, like your ancestors, maybe just checking in on you, and they come in a shadow form, I do believe, just so not to scare you. And maybe they think that they blend into the dark of the night or something as well. Who knows? But I do believe that type of shadow, Scott, it's just your family checking in on you, or an echo of the past in that house, you know? Do you feel that?
Yeah, no, definitely. If it was like a black-eyed child or like a negative shadow person, it would be doing more than just walking around in front of your doorway, believe me. And then you would be noticing things going on. So, like Sister Drew said, they do. Like your family can show in shadow form. Even normal spirits can show in shadow form when they come. Maybe they're not comfortable to show to you straight away, so they come in that form until they feel comfortable. I've had that happen a lot. You know what I mean? But like Sister Drew said, you can normally feel when something's good and when something's bad. Like you'd get the dread and the really horrible feeling when it's like a negative energy. You'll just feel like you shouldn't be near that energy. That energy doesn't feel right. You can always tell the difference, and just by what they give off.
I've tried to tell so many people, just because you see a shadow and it is dark in form, it doesn't mean it's bad.
No.
Yeah.
It's just the way that they are showing themselves.
Yeah.
This
You've
was
got
after
to
my
remember
mum
as
passed
well,
away.
a
It could
lot
have
of,
been your mum.
yeah, it could have, some of them, if they're hurt, if they've been hurt in a car accident or something, they're maybe a little bit deformed. They don't want you
Yeah.
to see that.
Yeah.
So the shadows probably to protect you from that sight and things as well. I'm always saying, I know we all contain both yin and yang, positive, negative, like when we were alive, can give both by our energy, so we can also after passing, but we need both all to exist. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's another thing as well. I think that some of the entities that's out
Hey,
there,
William.
I
Hi,
will.
Willie.
I think some of the entities out there know our fears. And shadow beings, shadow people have got a bad name. That does put the fear of God in you if you don't know the research behind a lot of it. But I think a lot, the majority of them that we see in our field is probably just human spirits masking themselves so we don't see them. But I just want you to be aware of some of the other type of things that's out there that mask as shadows, especially when some of us do go into cemeteries at night. It's good to know that these things are out there. What do you say? Oh, she had a heart attack, Scott. Heart attack. I saw her at the hospital after she passed away and said
Is this
goodbye.
your mom you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's his mum.
Yeah, he was saying that he lost his mum, and he lost his mum, and he see this energy shortly after.
Positive light. So yeah, positive light here. And that was it. Was Kim's one I was trying to do. Kim says, when my dad comes to visit, I know it's him because he casts a shadow. See again, it's the energy of him as
Yeah.
well. You know it. Right, guys, I'm going to move on to the second story I was going to tell you all tonight, right? And this was another non-human energy that Mike had came across. This one is called. It's called the Owl Witch, and she's called La Chusa. She's actually from the
Natural.
Mexican. Yeah, she's from the Mexican kind of folklore stuff. So a lot of people in that region will not speak about her. They will not even discuss it with people.
So
This
like
is
you
the one
said,
I'm telling you that Mike got off the people in the cafe. So definitely go to Mike's channel and check it out, right? And I'm going to read what my notes are on this, right?
that's very,
Slightly
very big
terrified.
on the Hispanic side. Ouch.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you'll
because
know
it's
a
what
bit
Rudy
about
is.
this.
Rudy don't talk about stuff like that.
Yeah, you still know a bit about this, so you can tell me what you think after it. Because Mike says that on his story that they won't talk about it. It's one of those ones that they even drill into the kids and things not to talk about. So it's definitely going to be a spooky energy, guys, right? So slightly terrified, Mike. It's from the southern Texas, southern Arizona area, right? A more spiritual place, Arizona, Mike felt, and few tribes would be unamused at him telling the story. He was on the research of the chupacabra at that time, the humankind he was looking for, known to feed off livestock. So he was asking questions around. He spoke to an old Mexican family about the chupacabra. They were in a diner. She told him to be more concerned about La Chusa, a Mexican folklore entity like La Rona, who steals your children. She's dressed in all white. He had never heard of La Lechuza before, but found out it was a little more well known in the Spanish culture, but they didn't speak of her. She's an old witch, not a typical witch, a shape-shifting creature, a supernatural being, while Lechuza is a cryptid, a owl witch. She appears in three forms: an old Mexican lady with a bright yellow eyes, sharp teeth, and walks with an old staff or a cane. Second, an old hybrid some giant owl like an old lady face with a giant head and is overall the size of a horse, very sharp claws and long white hair. The owl will be white or grey. 3. An owl witch would be giant, the size of a horse, much like the second, and again with a grey grey and has a necklace of bones of children and men with bright yellow eyes, and screech words to you like between an old owl and an old crone voice. You never want to meet her. She appears at night. If she comes, it's because she wants something from you. She eats drunken men who are violent and abusive to their kids and wife. She'll spot the men and endower them into the woods. And lure them into the woods to endower them outside their home. She cannot enter their home. She summons them to deal with them. She'll deal with your drunken lover, your drunken partner. She'll appear to him as a young woman and lure him out and deal with him. So she'll also appear to children who are misbehaving. She wanders the streets at night asking for little things, and if you give her money, she smiles and moves on. But if she senses that you're disrespecting her, if she meets a family and you're rude to her, she follows you home and takes your kids. She appears like an old vulnerable lady at your door, but she cannot enter. And if she's not there to be nice to you. Over the course of 3 nights, she terrorizes your family. First night, she goes around the house looking for windows she can see in, and she stands outside screeching and scraping at the windows. She tries to locate the kids' bedroom. She claws at the windows of their room to scare them, and if they look out, she scares them and they scream. The second night, she does the same and appears at the glass, tapping at the window. Remember, she can't come into the house unless you invite her in. No, sorry, she can't come into the house, not even if she's invited, or your car. But she scares you to come out. She leaves candy at the window or the door, and she lures them out with a trail of candy, and she flies in and sweeps them with her owl body and scoops in and takes them. If they don't go out, she gets angry and screeches all night. She has to do it all in 3 nights, and if she fails to lure the kids out the house, she won't ever return. This story is engraved in Mexican and Central American history. I've put down. So that was a bloody scary one, I thought.
Yeah. Well, one thing to say too about the lechuza, in the Hispanic culture, parents are very bad about. I'm gonna say this in a way, and if there's any Hispanic people in, don't get offended. Okay, you're looking at one here. Don't get offended. But and I used to babysit a lot of kids. Well, parents have a habit if they don't have their children mind them, instead of making them mind, it's easier for them to say the lechuza's gonna come get you if you don't behave.
Right.
And so that's carried on through the culture to make them, to make them behave. Instead of making them sit down, sit still, stay there and stop jumping
Stay
around.
in the yard, the lechuza will get you.
They say, the lechuza's going to get you if you don't behave. So that too, in itself, is carried on that way in a bad way. Because I used to hear parents say that to their kids, and I say, don't tell that kid that. Yeah, don't tell them that.
Mike tells it much better, guys. You have to go over and watch Mike's channel and listen to him tell it, because he tells it much better than I do. I'm just doing it for my notes. You need to listen to half his stories. But it really is one of those ones that's scary, because there's been so many tales. In Scotland, we've got a tale that it's actually, you've probably got it in England and America as well, where it's one of those ones where there's the young lovers up in the woods in the car, and there's escapees from the local loony bin. So the two of them are in the car and they're having a little kiss and a cadoodle, and they hear tapping on the roof, and the man goes out to find out, to see what was going on and up above, and they disappears, and then the next thing the girl sees blood coming down the windows, and she goes out and she sees on top of the car roof our boyfriend being endowered by this demon day looking escapee from the local loony bin. So that type of story's been going about our local woods for we were teenagers, and it just kind of evolves for year on and year on. I've not heard it for a long time, right enough, but because we did have Birkwood down the street.
The Arona, the boogeyman.
Because we had Birkwood down the street, we were told that it was Birkwood people that had escaped and they were doing this to people. So when you're a kid and you hear your mum and dad tell you these stories, you believe it because Birkwood's there and you think, oh, you know what I mean? So I do believe there wasn't ever anybody escaped and that happened anywhere around here. But I think it's just one of those folklore tales that is there to scare the kids. And it's to scare the teenagers for getting into the woods in their cars to have a little bit of cadoodle, isn't it?
Harry Poppins said we in England had the kitty catcher. Oh, that one.
The energy that Sister Drew just spoke about, that Mike spoke about, I know that I've had conversations with my partner about that because my partner is Spanish as well as native, and he would always say about that, like parents would tell their kids if you didn't go to bed or you didn't behave and stuff, that this energy would come and get them, and
exactly.
And even like if they're playing outside at a certain time and they're trying to get them in and they're not coming in, they'd say if you don't come in, then the juice is going to get you, and the kids would run in fear because you know what I mean, like
or they say the boogeyman's going to get you.
Boogeyman.
See,
my mum and my nan and that used to say about that. Like, used to say, if you don't go to bed and you don't behave, the boogeyman comes from underneath your bed or from your cupboard and grabs you, and it's like, well.
That's why a lot of people don't like to sleep
spirits as well. You know what I mean? Like, what?
You never sleep when they tell you that.
No.
That's why people learn when their kids, they grow up, they can't sleep with their leg hanging off the bed or their arm hanging off the bed because they're afraid something's going to grab them from underneath. Because that's the way they were brought up.
If, like say yous guys, if yous have got the gift and yous maybe get scared as a kid in these stories, yous know that these entities are real, so yous will get scared even more thinking, wait a minute, has my mum put this under my bed? You know?
But that's what I was just saying. Like, when you've got abilities, it's really hard when they say things like that because you see things already and you know that there's things like that there already. So you're like, I used to always go in my bedroom because, like, if like the kids were naughty and stuff, and my mum would go on about the boogeyman or, like you're saying, the kiddie catcher and stuff. I would always go in my bedroom and look under my bed to make sure there's nothing under there.
Most kids wouldn't even have most kids would not even look under the bed. They would be so terrified. They jump from as far back from the bed that they can and jump. And grab the covers in the air and roll over and cover themselves up.
I used to lift the quilt up and go, I'm a good kid, I'm going to bed. Don't take me, I'm all right, I'm not doing nothing, I'm just making sure you're not there, I'm going to bed. Like.
My brother told me as a kid there is a guy in the woods with a chainsaw. Yes, see, things like that, Scott, we get told about up here. Not really any entity. Things. It was all wild men.
There's actually an inmate in prison for doing that. It was called the Chainsaw Massacre in Texas.
Oh, yeah, that's in Fulham.
Yeah, that was a real event.
When I worked the prison system, he was in there.
Right. See, that's interesting.
And the other inmates were scared of him, and when they would pass by, they would go like a chainsaw.
Like a chainsaw.
They were walking.
Run though.
But they're brave doing that, going past his cell, isn't it? Like,
yeah, definitely. If he gets out, you better hope he doesn't get home to any tools.
Yeah, he was in the death row prison. You know, I mean, there's like so many of them in there. But anyway, I'm getting off the subject. But when he said that about the chainsaw, the man in the woods, it reminded me of Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. But that's a bit that, even the first one, I just think Mike tells a good story, guys. It's just amazing. But it's all these entities that is out there, but that you have to be aware of. And that's why you've got to use prayers, guys, and you've got to take your protection and things. Mm-hmm. And take your guides like Timber, the wolf, and things like that I would do believe would be my focus. I tell Timber to make sure that there's nothing lurking and things. But I'm going to be extra vigilant now when I go into cemeteries. Because if you think about it, you don't know how this thing starts and who it's after. So was it appearing to Mike because he was doing the 3-day vigil and it piqued their interest? Or was it just because that entity was in that cemetery? You just don't know. So just be aware they things are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're definitely out there.
What's Amora saying? Okay, that is mean. Maybe BC, I never got to told things like that. I got H.C. Anderson stories after age 3. Yeah, because I don't want to scare you. You know? My mum always told us scary stories on a Friday or a Saturday night. And that's why I like all this stuff. As I've told you, she would always start the story as, it was a dark and stormy night. 3 men sat by a fire. Oh, there's another little part to it that makes it even scarier, and I can't remember. I'll need to ask Helen again. What was it? Oh, I can't remember. But it used to put the fear of God in me, and I'd be like, tell us more, Mum, tell me more. And then be scared to go up the stairs. She tried to tell us scary stories so we would go to bed, and then it defeated the purpose because we were all too scared to go up the stairs to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because I used to hear a lot of stuff that happens either in the attic or in the basement.
Well, there you go. See, that was the thing.
Yeah,
Somebody, I don't know if I told a lot of the newer people won't know this, but I've probably told you guys on my channel. But in our house when we were younger, that's how the creepy stories started. There was a certain day in September that you could hear somebody close our front door, as in slam the front door. You would hear somebody run up the stairs, and that would be it. You wouldn't could find anybody. And my big cousin William had a CB that you weren't allowed to play on. You could hear the police and things on it. So one night we were all sitting in the kitchen on this illegal CB, and it happened, and we all went up. The CB got chucked in the cupboard, and we all went around the house to see who had came in, and there was nobody there. But we had tracked it down to a certain week in September. I can't remember the date. Maybe Helen will remember it. This is when it would happen. And through time, I keep thinking I'll need to go back in my mum's house that Pacific week and see if it still happens to this day. Maybe even if it's like, say, the week of the 18th or something, stay that couple of days and see if I can document it. Because it would happen all the time. And at first we thought it was maybe, because it was always like the nights that my dad was never in. So my dad was out on a Saturday night, a Friday night, a Saturday night. So it would happen either one of those nights, but once a year. So it makes it wonder if it was something that was maybe scared the men or whoever. I don't know, but it would be interesting to go document it. And now I'm a ghost hunter, you know. Hi, Tags, welcome in.
Hey, Tags.
I know it's against what you're saying. I missed a lot of the chat, but cemeteries are very peaceful.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
there are cemeteries that are not peaceful and have stuff going on in them.
Especially if they know that you can see them.
See, that's the interesting thing about Greyfriars, guys. Greyfriars is the most peaceful cemetery you'll ever walk through until the darkness falls, and then that's when everything changes. I kid you not, you would have to be there at the dusk of Greyfriars to feel the change. It's the most peaceful place. Tourists walk around. Everybody walks around, and I've done it myself, and I've been there at 3 o'clock in the morning as well, and it is only that change from dusk to dawn that you feel it changed like a knife just suddenly split the atmosphere. It is the strangest, and I've never had that anywhere else, and I've been in a lot of cemeteries and a lot of castles and things when it's dusk, just turning into, you know what I mean, turning to dusk. And it's only in Greyfriars that you feel that. So some cemeteries are definitely peaceful, but they're also definitely a shift, you know.
Harry says, I see them.
Like the cemetery I go to here was my favourite place. 9 times out of 10, it's absolutely beautiful day and night. You've got no problem, but just every now and again when you go there, you'll feel a change in energy, and you'll see a dark mass that goes across, and it's like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like every now and again, like everyone says, oh, you don't get negative, you don't get bad in there because it's holy ground. You do. You can get negative and bad still on those grounds, most definitely.
See, that's why I think there's a difference now when Mystical informed us all about the gatekeeper. That's why I feel that that's the important part. I feel as if you address the gatekeeper in the cemetery and he grants you to talk to the spirits, then you're going to probably be okay because he's going to keep his spirits at bay that maybe want to harm you, and you're also going to keep safe. But if you don't address him, he's going to know not one, protect you, two, let any of the good spirits probably speak to you so you're on your own. So that's why I think that's pretty important, is to speak to the gatekeeper, and
Yeah, I
then
thought
that
that was
way,
me that said about the gatekeeper.
yeah, whoever it was.
Yeah.
A lot of people think the gatekeepers are only in graveyards, but there don't have
Mm-mm.
to actually be a gate there for the gatekeeper to be looking over
Yeah,
everything.
wherever there's graves, essentially, yeah. Because
Yeah,
that's
taking
his
on.
job, isn't it? Is to look after, much like what Mike was trying to achieve, I do believe, with doing that for his hood on. I think that's what the gatekeeper's purpose is to make sure that everybody that kind of passes away stays where they're to be. The ones can pass over. That's what the gatekeeper will be there for, is to kind of keep control of the spirits and make sure that they're not doing anything that's not acceptable. Because I do say there's rules. There's going to be rules in a cemetery when you pass away as well, I do believe.
Oh yeah, the spirits will still do things that they're not supposed to do. They have to be kept in check. And
Yeah.
like Mystical said, they don't just resemble to graveyards. They'll be in woodlands. They'll be in any sort of place that there is energies that have passed away. It's just that they are there to
Yeah.
keep the peace and to stop anything that shouldn't be coming in from like going in that area.
And then you've got to, and I feel as if you've got to have respect as well. That's why anytime, even if I'm not going out ghost hunting, that I walk by the local cemetery and I always talk to the gatekeeper, I always say, "Hello, gatekeeper,
Yeah,
I'm sorry I'm not ghost hunting today. Hello, spirits, I will come back and speak to you another time. Thank you for all the times you speak to me," things. And I always say a little thing, whether I'm going in to talk to the spirits or not, because it's not fair just to. It'd be like your friend walking past your house and not waving in or something. That's what I feel like. I feel if I walked past the cemetery and I didn't address them, it would be rude.
it's
You know?
disrespectful.
Yeah. So I always, I'm always saying, if we think about it, actually all of our ancestors out through time, from Roman times or real writing take off, they have warned us about a lot of things because it's so maybe daylight. I'm not really sure what you mean by that though. I think the way you've put it, sis, or the Egyptians also did. Yes, I respect. We've all got to respect the dead anyway, guys. So if we're all going into cemeteries and things, just be aware that there is things there that take the disrespect really serious. Is my point of tonight, and be aware that there is energies out there that's not human, that maybe look human, that do want to maybe do us harm or to attach to us or take a little bit of us, like that one we might. So just be aware, is my point of tonight, that there is
That's
energies
why
out there.
listen to your intuition and
Yeah,
listen to how you feel. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? You have to because they do. Sometimes they will show in human form and that because that's a way of getting to you. So you do have to listen to how you feel. What do you feel like when you're in that area? Does it make you feel like you want to stay there? Does it make you want to feel like you want to run? If it makes you feel like you want to run or it don't feel right, move. Like
And
don't say
remember some
anything
of the older
disrespectful.
cemeteries. I mean, some of the older cemeteries as well, like it's got the old stately gentlemen in it, much like Greyfriars with Mr. Mackenzie, all the older gentlemen, they demanded a certain respect in life. So it makes sense when they pass over that they'll demand a certain type of respect in the afterlife. So when you know that it's a spirit's grave of 300 years ago and it's in an old medieval church, make sure that you're going that extra mile to be more respectful. Maybe address them as sir and things so that you get their respect. Don't go in and expect to talk to them like a modern day spirit, because I do believe they would probably not speak to you then, is my point as well. Kind of just remember who you're talking to in these cemeteries. Make sure you're addressing each spirit with the way that they would demand respect as well. I think that's important to put out there.
Oh yeah,
Because some
and
of them will
normally
pull
9
you up.
times out of 10 on the graves you'll see it anyway. You'll either see lady, lord, ma'am,
Yeah.
sir. That is how you talk to them. You wouldn't go calling them by their name. You'd go sir,
Yeah.
whatever, ladies, whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like yeah, you do need to respect it, and they are in a different time to us. Like they wouldn't expect you to talk the way we talk now. They would expect you to talk the way that they would have been spoken to at
Yeah.
that
Have you
time. You
ever
know,
been
and
in New
in death,
Orleans?
you don't change. How you was in life is how you are in
Oh,
death.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
there's
how
That's
it is.
Curtis.
exactly correct.
Have you ever been in New Orleans, Mystical?
Lucky, lucky, lucky. Yes, I have been
There's
in New Orleans.
Curtis.
Welcome,
Hello.
Curtis. I
Hey
have been.
guys,
Yes,
Hello.
I've
He's
been
come
in
in for
New
the last
Orleans.
30 minutes. Yeah, have you ever been in New Orleans?
Yes, I
So
have.
what's the energy like there? Is it because I do believe with the way that Mike puts it across as if it's like it really is a really like a different energy type of place. Do you feel that, Mystical?
I actually did not feel that because the area that I was in, my stepdad was a merchant marine, and so we were going to go that way because he was in Orange, and we were going to go that way to see him while he was on the
No.
ship. And so we did stop and we went through some of the shops and stuff like that. But I never felt that overwhelming energy or negative energy. None of that did I feel. Now I was more worried about, since I have no sense of direction and I was the driver, I was more worried about getting lost there. I think that was more overwhelming than any spirit I would have picked up. Their
Yeah.
energy. So,
It would have been interesting to see if you'd been into a cemetery, though, if you would have picked up any different types of energy. Because I think New
yes,
Orleans is one of those. Have you ever been to New Orleans, Curtis?
I've never been to New Orleans. I've been to New York City. I've been to, never New Orleans.
Right. It just sounds interesting. Now, Brother
But
Scott says, I did visit a cemetery once months ago, but I said I'm just
I
visiting, said hi. I felt peaceful. It's near the house, but mad sure I protected myself.
that's
Definitely,
right.
Good.
Scott. I mean, that's all you can do.
well,
Is
New Orleans has a lot of haunted areas down there. I know the
yeah,
graveyards
because I
are.
was telling the story about some of the well, it was not really mythical creatures that was there. It was a couple of little stories Mike the Naked Bigfoot's experience down there. So I was just wondering if any had visited there and felt that kind of more,
I
let me
never did
see,
when I was there.
the dewy energy, you know.
I wouldn't
But
mind
what is,
going.
yeah, so would that. Be interesting to see, wouldn't it? To see what it's like. So what have you been up to, Curtis, tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad I made it. I'm a little late. I didn't know when you guys started, but I wanted to come on for just for a little bit and talk with you guys. It's been quite a while since we've seen each other, on a live show. So
Yep,
I missed you guys.
We miss you as
yep.
well. Yep.
Yeah,
I'd
we
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 were
say,
talking.
hadn't been on too much lately. We just all seem to be having something going on, one of the other ones. So which is, and we don't want to come on without the other. So it's been a while.
Yeah. But we're getting back to it. Yeah, we just kind of. I'm studying a lot just now, and we've all got little things going on, and it's just trying to coexist. No, coexist. I can't find my words these days. It's just kind
Yeah,
of
and the
getting my
weather's
head
been so hot
around it.
here. I don't know about you guys, but the weather's been so hot here. You
Hot,
can
yes,
do too much. I mean, you're talking 110 if you, even at night,
hmm
really warm.
yes,
No.
yes. It's been super super hot here. I have to take my paranormal thermometer that I use to check the temperature when the temperatures change. I've had to take that out with me every time I go lock up the chickens
Yeah,
to check the temperature in there so I don't lock
yeah,
them up,
I
in the
know.
Yeah.
sauna. So we used to lock them up at 8 and then went to 8:30 and then it went to 9 because it's just staying hot just like
I
so
know.
late.
Well, what have you guys been
Everybody's
up to?
saying hello, Curtis.
I know Sherry's been doing her garden. You got your
Yeah.
chicken. I know you've been busy, Drew. Melody
Yeah.
and I have been doing, a lot of investigations. We got some new ones coming up. In fact, Mel's going live tonight, you guys. She's got
Oh,
finally
good.
got her. Yeah, she finally got her 50 subscribers, so she's got a StreamYard
Oh,
going.
All
So
right.
she's going to be getting rolling with that. I'm glad for her
If
to,
I'm still up, I'll be watching, okay? It is midnight here just now, but if I'm still up, I will watch and give her the support for definitely, guys. In Florida, it's 105, Scott. That's crazy as well, isn't it? Wow. I would
yeah. So
melt.
I've been watching you guys, so I haven't, went on live with you, but I've been watching. Now Sherry, the other night I was watching those. You're in your garden there. It seemed like to me I seen things. I don't know if they were lights. I don't think they were bugs because
No,
right.
they're not bugs.
No,
No.
I mean you could see them. It looks like little. It went so fast, man. You could not catch them by your eye.
The way
I
I
even
can tell is there's usually a little light. If you look at them a little bit closer, a bug's just a bug flying around, but if you look at the ones that's fairies, they've got a certain glow to them. And that's how you
Yeah.
can usually tell the
They
difference.
have
There's a glow
certain
to the
movements.
fairies.
They have
Yeah.
certain
They're-
movements to them also. They move differently.
They
Yeah, it was
give off a
different.
very bright light, but a very bold light. They're very bold, like they're solid, and they're very graceful when they move and the way that they go across the screen. Like a bug would be all over the place, a fairy would just change direction, like.
Yeah, it's a different
And
than a
I see
light.
them physically with my eyes, so I can see. That's why you'll see me looking around, because I can see them physically going around me. That's why I can catch them on the cameras,
yes.
and that's why you're seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think that's what happened to me. I'm used to seeing bugs and stuff. What I'm seeing wasn't what I'm used to seeing. It was different. And I
Did you see the
Definitely
one
not
in
bugs.
Primrose? Did you see the one in Primrose on the short? Sherry's got a
No, I
short
don't
out.
think I-
That's
You need
Oh,
to
you
go look
got
at
to
that.
see
You want
it.
to see a real fairy? Go and look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
see
Guys,
the wings,
even
you can see
you
the
on-
head, you can
You
see
see a
the
head, a
legs.
wings.
I
You
did
can
see
Like a little
that.
ballerina.
The wings were almost, you could see the wings, but you can't get a good look. It's almost like a hummingbird. The
You
wings
see
are
it.
The
so
thing is,
big.
when you look at the fae folk, you'll find with the fae folk, like the body itself will be very fluorescent and seen, where the wings will be slightly lighter
Welcome, Silver
because
Night
of what it
Co.
is. You know what I mean? But you can
Yeah.
normally
Triple
see.
night, Kyle. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally different than what I'm used to seeing. Like I said, you're in touch with them right there. I don't know what you're
I've
doing
been in
there.
touch with them since I was 5 years old. I've seen them since I was 5, so they're very connected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they've
they're
just
Anybody
started to
not so easy to
accept
go up
people
and watch
seeing
it.
them.
they're showing
See, that's
themselves to you, Sherry.
See, that's the
Pardon?
thing, isn't it? Because they know you've got a pure heart. That's the same back to spirits. Spirits know you've got a pure heart. So remember
I do
as well,
what I do isn't for myself. I do what I do for them. That is what I am.
They
That's why
know.
I was saying yesterday about being the healer. I'm not just a healer to people. I'm a healer to the universe and to nature and to all of the energies that consume in that. Whether you're a person, a creature, whatever you are, to me, everything's important and everything deserves to be okay. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And if you can help
Yeah.
them, help them.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
they must know. They must feel you. You know what I mean? They must feel that you
Oh,
care
yeah,
about
they
them. You're
know.
not just doing
Yeah.
it.
There's
For,
a big,
know.
deep connection with me and the Fae, and you will come to understand how, because I'm going to be doing some shows and stuff like that, and I'm going to be waking some people up on all of the nonsense you see about them, which is from thousands of years ago when people didn't like witches and wizards, so they would do anything about anything that was different. So I'm going to put it right.
That's why the height.
that's good. That's good.
That's why the
I'm going to be
protector.
watching. I need to
All
learn
this,
too.
they're
because-
negative, they're bad, they're going to do this to you. No, they're not. No, they're not. Yes, you pee them off, upset them, they'll act like any other person would. You know what I mean? But they're not negative.
It's
at all.
because, and the
Well,
only reason they do think that is because they've been betrayed in the past, so they don't take betrayal too good.
A
So
lot of
that's-
it's the stories. A lot of it's the stories. You've got books. You've like you look at all of the stories about the Fae and things like that. It all goes back to Victorian, medieval times where witches, people like that weren't accepted, were murdered by being burned or being hanged, and
I know.
anything that was out of this world and not like them was classed as being evil.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's what my mind is too, because what I've read in books and what I'm learning lately is not what's going on. You know what I mean? It's
Don't
different.
take notice of books. Don't read everything about books. Books and that do not tell you what they really are about. I physically worked with them. I have done since I was 5. You know what I mean? And I
Well,
have never had a negative experience.
For the
some
history.
books, yeah, some books, depending on what they're about, are written for the money part, not
Yeah,
for the actual
And remember, MD can
knowledge
write a book these
part.
days.
Yeah.
yeah.
See, Curtis,
But
we
these are
watch
books from
YouTube a lot on
thousands of years
TV.
ago.
Yeah. Just
We
watch
watch
Yeah.
what book
YouTube,
it
Curtis,
is.
but if we watch it on TV, you'll never know it because we're watching the TV.
I think it
Just
messes
looking
with
through
your
and go,
mind, your thoughts of them. I wonder, you guys, does the fairies play on that man's
No,
interpretation
they
of them?
don't play on it. No, they don't. To be honest, they get very offended by how people look at them and think that they're negative energies. They're not. They're healers. Okay, they're people. They're little people that live right next to us and want to be accepted. Was part of this realm. Was accepted in this realm at one point, and now they're not because of silly people in the past writing stuff about them. That's not right.
They've got a place in the woodlands. They've got an important job. They
Hmm.
help to keep the woods the way they are with all the
Welcome,
wild
Zero.
flowers and things.
Oh, is
Welcome in,
that on
Zero. Nice
Twitch?
to see you
Is
here.
that on Twitch?
Yeah, that's Twitch.
Sherry, do you think you will get close to one? Really, really close to one?
I am already close to them, right? They land on me, they land on my hands. You see it in videos that I've done up at the woodland where they were standing on my shoulders and stuff. As a little girl, they used to come and sit on my lap, come and sit on my shoulder. I have a very, very close connection with the Fae folk to the point that they will protect me. I've had it where I got protected from falling out of a tree. They stopped me from falling from a tree. That's how connected I am with them. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
That is really cool.
Yeah. And I am going to learn you guys about all of that. You know what I mean? Like, so you get a bit more understanding. Because I think a lot of people have got a lot of fear in them because of what they've read and seen and heard people speak about in the past. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's awesome. I'm learning, like I said right now, as I'm sitting here.
What that means when Neptunes are the connections of you, the planet, and them. This is weird info. I got you Mentium universe and then heart Neptune. Well, to be honest, the Fae folk, like a lot of other like energies, like the elementals and stuff like that, they're all connected to different planets and different places. They all have their specific energies that makes them what they are. Like you've got your different fire, you've got your different elements of fairies. They would be considered and classed to be as part of different, planets and different things. And what you've got to remember is in the Fae realm, when you go there, even though it's looked at as the realm of the dead, it's not the realm of the dead as in a spirit realm like we know it. It's another sort of realm. But a lot of people say that they're the spirit of the dead or they're the spirit of other energies. But to me personally, I see them with flesh. I see them with skin. I don't look at them as being dead. They're not dead the way that we die in that realm. They're different. You know what I mean? But they have that connection. And they have
everywhere. They're part of the elemental spirits of the woods.
Well, they are elemental. They are part of elemental. They're nature energies. They're nature spirit. That is what they are.
Yeah. Sherry, do they have their own towns or their own villages?
Yes, they have villages. They have houses and things like that. Not like anything here. It's sparkly, it's beautiful, silvers, golds, bright colours, like just absolutely stunning. No evilness, no illness, no nothing.
I would love to. Would you like to see that village? Go there and see it?
I've seen it. I've been took by them many times to their realms because I am part of their realm. So, yeah, I've seen it.
Jeez, I'd love to see one.
Cool.
A little village.
I've got a little village in my garden.
I know.
You have to build up trust with them and then they'll let you see it. It'll take lots of years.
You've got to open and be accepting to them and stop being so critical of them. Don't judge them before you don't know them, okay? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that all books are wrong. When you've got the more up-to-date books where people are writing about it now and they're more open to it, that's fine when you read them sort of books, but don't take the judgment of what that book's saying. Take the judgment of what you experience and what you see. That's what they want you to do. You know what I mean? They don't want you to go by a book or what somebody's told you. You go by what you feel and what you see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's only fair.
And
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
doubt they're there. When
I'm
you
sorry,
see them
Drew.
on the screen, don't doubt that it's there. You know, and I'm not just talking to you, Curtis. I'm talking to anybody else that's listening.
Okay, so are you connected to Neptune? I'm connected to quite a lot of places, Amora, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. That's probably where she's travelling to next. That's probably why we're telling you.
You're
That's what
connected
we're
to
telling
You
you.
see
more
me
than
past
one.
Neptune, but like,
You're connected to more than one
That's the
planet,
moon
aren't you?
now. I see them in another frequency and they can see us, but we can't unless you hit the thin veil. Definitely, Harry Poppins. I think what they do is they make sure that you are of pure heart. They make sure that you're not going. They know things that you don't even know that they know. So they know that if you're trustworthy, they know if you've got a good heart, if you've got ulterior motives for what to see them, such as maybe go share the footage to the world. You know,
they
things like
don't
that.
they don't seek untruthful people. They don't like people that have judgment. They want people that are going to be open-minded and be accepting to them, okay? And people that are spiritual. They really do love people that are spiritual and already connected to nature elements and
And
things like that. They like all that.
Yeah.
if they let
Yeah,
you
because
take
when I
their
was
picture, they can take it back at any time.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
this,
You've
because
got to be pretty in there with them for them to let you catch them on cameras and stay on it. Believe me, I've done years and years of
see, they
dedication
know
for
you're a
them
good
to get to
soul
this point.
brother, Scott. So that's why they're letting you
yeah,
Yes.
because
see
when I
them.
first started watching your videos, a few nights ago, I was watching, but my mind was not catching up with what I was seeing or something. You know what
And
I'm saying?
people that get excited by them, no matter how many
Yeah.
times you've seen them, you still have you seen me? I've seen them since
Yeah.
I was 5 years old. And when I got that picture
Very
of
starts
Primrose,
acting with my
I was
finger.
going nuts. I was like, oh my God, did you see that? I get excited because they do excite me. They're just amazing. They are amazing.
You can't help. That's how I know when Clara's around, guys, is because there's
Yeah.
usually like a kind of giddy energy in the room. So you know that the fairy energy's around. And you also feel her take off because you feel the energy kind of rush out. So it's these little things that you pay attention about. And then you can usually tell when they're around. Such as I can tell when Timber's around because I always feel him at my feet. So there's still these type of things that you get to know.
Excuse
Just
me.
a unknown. But you do
Are they
get used
from
to it.
Are they from this planet, or did they come from a
They're
planet?
part of this planet, but they have their own division. They are the most closest to our planet, okay? So they're right next to us. So their realm is kind of within our realm, but not, if you get what I'm saying. Like you would
Yeah.
see them through
It's like
nature. And you
a
can
different
see them if you're
dimension.
open, but it would be through your fairy sight. If you've got fairy sight, you will physically be able to see the realms and you'll be able to see them as well. You know what I
I
mean?
love
So
you.
that's what I have.
Yeah, that's. I mean, see, I'm just asking questions
Welcome.
that's running through my
Sure.
mind. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Flame Girl saying she's
Oh, more
pretty
than likely.
with
They
her
love
shoes.
shoes and stuff, cobblers. There's a lot between fairies, cobblers, shoe cobblers, all sorts of things. Owls is another thing. They've got a really big connection with owls, and there's loads of different things.
Welcome in, Wood Elf. Nice to see you from Kentucky. Blessings to
Welcome.
you.
I agree,
Put
Sherry.
that
I
back.
North
see
of
it
me.
as a thick one side mirror.
Is it
Sherry.
raining
Yes,
in
sometimes.
Kentucky? Is it raining in Kentucky? It's pouring down here earlier.
Ooh.
Wow.
It's getting ready to rain here. But Sherry, one of these guys just said that they think they found one of their shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they will
probably.
hide in little places, and they are known to move things like your
Yeah,
shoes and
yeah.
objects around in your rooms and things like that. They are known to do things like that a lot. So it wouldn't
Oh,
surprise me. So be
Yeah.
careful when you're putting your shoes on. They might be using it as a bed.
or sitting on
Yeah,
something that they left behind or something.
the
You
one
know?
flying in front of the camera
It's
body
pouring
wings is
apparently in Kentucky.
Primrose.
It
Primrose
is,
likes
it's
to show
pouring.
herself to people that believe in her.
I like to hear out from the front. I know Amora said something about 9 planets. To be honest, the
Yeah,
9 planets are linked to a lot of things, not just to the faith folk. They're linked to the elementals. They're linked to the cholesterol side, to do with the extraterrestrial. I think we're all connected to the 9 planets. To be quite honest, it's just that there's certain energies that have
I
more
believe that's
capacity
how they
to them.
get into our world. Yeah, it's through the rainbows and things.
Yeah.
You know what I
They're
think?
very magical creatures,
I
guys.
feel like they're part of the atmosphere or the universe's essence, like
Yes,
a
they are.
spark,
Very
like a
much so.
sparkle. You
Yeah.
know, like the Milky Way, part of the Milky Way, part of the. I feel like they're part of our essence of some.
They're little travelers. Okay,
Yeah.
they travel. Even though they can come through dimension, they will use like their ley lines. They will help to heal things like ley lines, anything like that. Anything to do with the universe, they will look after.
I mean, that's
She must
awesome.
have
I
been
can
gone
feel
through
it.
here to come to your house.
And Sister Drew got to feel it full hand being in my house.
Oh,
She went
yeah,
to the woodland. She went everywhere. My woodland is really open. That is a fey realm. I'm telling you.
And you feel it as soon as you go through the gate. It's like the gate is the portal to that world, because as soon as we went through that gate, it all changed. Much like Greyfriars, you feel that shift in the energy. That's what it was like going through that gate for
not the 9 planet. There is a planet called the 9 planet, and it is behind the sun.
All right. Need to do research in that. Oh,
Behind
interesting.
the sun.
Is this a new
Behind
planet
the
they've
sun?
discovered?
It is all about frequency, yes. They very much use a lot of frequency and stuff to be able to do what they're doing.
And music, they love the
music,
music.
dancing,
Yes.
anything like that. Music, dancing's the way to the fairy's heart.
The energy, isn't it? They've got that kind of sparkly little energy.
They want like happy, joyful, childlike energy. They're very, very happy. So you'll know when they're pissed off, because they won't do that anymore. You'll know, because they're normally a very joyful energy, very playful energy. So you'll know when something's not right with them.
It's 15 to be exact. I'm not. Wow, okay.
The 10th planet, yeah, the 10th planet. I've heard something about a planet behind the sun, but I don't know a lot about it. And to be quite honest, they've never sat there and spoke to me about a planet behind the sun. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll put that one on the list. We've got so much to do research-wise. We're actually going to be doing a study group together, the clan sisters. We're waiting till the winter kind of comes more for that.
What else says, ever seen any Bigfoots? Are they aliens? In my opinion, they come through portals. That's why you can't catch them, because as far as I'm concerned, they come through portals. They can come and go.
Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to say, Mystical.
Three or four different kind. You have the ones that can just poof, be gone. You all the way down to the ones that are like, some people say they're like the ones that people worry about running into, and in the woods and all of this stuff. So there's like, I think there's like 4 different, just like people,
Yeah,
you have a step deal on the intelligence of people.
I would say that they're interdimensional beings. They use energies to come in and out. They don't stay in this realm. They leave. Right. They're interdimensional. They're multi-dimensional.
That's
they're
why I
caretakers.
say they move through portals.
They move anywhere they want to go.
I think that's why nobody's captured one, because they can jump.
And they shapeshift.
They
shapeshift. They turn into animals.
For the people that have never heard me say this before, I watched a video once, and it was a man that had a camera on his back, and he was walking through the woodlands, and on the camera he caught a man walking past, the Bigfoot stepping out like a portal and then stepping back in. So if that man had been walking through there at that time, he could have been sucked into that portal. But that's what the trail camera caught on his back, was the Bigfoot stepping in and out of a portal. So maybe that's how people.
Aliens are most probably our past lives. Some of the alien energies maybe so, but not all of them. They are from other places and other dimensions. They're not all been human. Some of the aliens have never been human, and have never been us. So it's really important to remember that some of us here have probably been extraterrestrial and remember things about certain planets and certain species.
I,
You know, we're not time traveling. We're going through life the way it's meant to go. But I do believe that our dimension isn't quite how people explain it to us to be. I do believe that like our place is a place of lesson and a place of finding ourselves and
Yeah.
understanding ourselves spiritually, whether that we understand every life we've had.
And there's
There's an
probably many
importance to what we're
doorways
here.
out there, just that we don't have the key to a lot of the doorways. Flame Girl saying J.M. Berry
Mhm.
wrote, when the first baby laughed for the first time, the laugh broke into 1,000 pieces, and that was the beginning of fairies. So that's another perspective. That's quite a
There's a
cute
lot
one,
of
isn't it?
perspectives. There is
Yeah.
a lot of perspectives to how they came here. Yeah.
You've seen
Sherry,
one
Sherry, your mind has to be open. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Your mind
that's
has to be open. You
To
know what I
do
mean?
things like that, to work with fairies, ETs, Bigfoot, ghosts, spirit, you've got to have an open mind. Not so necessarily that you
the
see
minute you
anything,
doubt
but
it,
you've got to
you're
be
still a
open
believer.
to wanting to see it. And then you
Yeah,
will start to have your experiences, you know what I mean?
yeah, because they're unbelievable. I mean, some of this, what we
Ectomorphic,
can't see with the naked
transmorphic,
eye is something that it's there, but you can't
ecto-
really, your
big
mind
words,
can't go there, you know?
ectoponic.
Oh yeah, in
And
that way, yeah, we can. Like as witches, we could time travel. Of course, we can. We can go to the
yeah,
future. We can go to the past. Of
well,
course, we can. But
have you heard
this
of the
realm
That's a
itself
good
is not a
program.
time traveling thing. This isn't. We're not time traveling here. We're time traveling in other places that are
Just
significant.
when you
You know what I
meditate,
mean?
that's what you're doing as well. You're going into different
Meditation's time traveling. Yeah,
dimensions. Yeah,
meditation is time traveling.
you're
Of
going
course,
into
it is.
different dimension when you time travel, when you
when you're
meditate.
astro traveling too, because you can go a lot of places
Astral
when you
travel.
astro
Well, you use
travel.
all your ley lines, don't you? You use your ley lines. You'll use
One
your
chapter,
like
please,
portals, doorways, vortexes. You can go into holes in the sky. You can go into
we missed the
anything you can
411, a
travel.
good
It's
program.
just having the ability and believing
Well,
in it.
you
If you
can use
believe
your
in yourself, you
mind,
can do it.
you know, you can use your mind to go wherever you want to go. Like you said, you know, concentrate and you can take your mind anywhere you want to go. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know if they can get into our
I think
head.
with a lot of people, when they hear the word time traveling or doing all that thing, they automatically think that their whole
Yeah,
body's going to disappear. But sometimes it's easy. It's just sitting there and thinking about something. You might not necessarily go to the full place, but you'll start to see things. This is you time traveling. It's your mind learning to open to doing that. What you've got to remember, if you've been somebody that's been closed for so long and you've not had that experience, when you start to do that, your mind's got to become used to doing that. You've got to train it to do that because it's been stopped. You know what I mean? So you've got to train
You,
yourself to do that.
yeah,
you gotta,
society closed it all
yeah,
down.
you
And
gotta.
you're
I know what you're saying.
Have you ever laid in bed and shook off what you thought was a fly? Like, have we ever felt things on us that, well, yeah. And to be honest, with the faith folk, you'll find a lot of that. You'll get tingles or weird feelings to your skin. Like with elementals, you get a really big heat with some of them, or you'll get a really big gush of wind. With the fae, they
yeah,
give a small warmth. When the fae are around you, they give there a small warmth. You might get tingles, you might get little vibrations on you, which are signs of them. You know
Also,
what I mean?
too, though, to answer and to bring that up, you feel
Yes,
something
sis.
you think is a fly. A lot of times, if a spirit is around you and you feel something on you, kind of like running into a spider web, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like that.
yeah.
Or
That's
you
That's
feel
that
water.
is also, yeah, that's
yeah,
also a spirit.
That happened
yeah,
to me in the garden the other night. I was sitting there and it weren't raining, but I could feel water falling on my head. That is another sign of spirit as well. And what you've got to remember, and where a lot of people get confused, is a lot of what you experience with the fae is very similar to what you experience with the spirit. So you
yeah,
do need to have your intentions and know the difference. You know what I mean? Because some of it is very similar, like Sis Mystical said, like the tingles and stuff to the arm that the fae will give you off is what a spirit can give you as well. But the only difference is what I tell the difference is because they give off a warmth. I can feel their playfulness. I can feel that they're not a spirit. Do you know what I mean? That they are the fae. They're because I'm open. So it'll take a lot of training for you to understand that. But
yeah.
if you're open to it, they'll learn you to do that. You'll learn about their techniques, the way, and you'll know it's them. the difference. You know what I
I
mean?
know who
So,
you're talking about, Woody. I think I've seen that one you're talking about where they had the reflection in his sunglasses.
oh yeah,
Recording off the reflection off his sunglasses. What was that?
yeah,
yeah. He got
because
a reflection of a Bigfoot in his sunglasses.
yeah,
No, I was going to tell
I
you
think
that
we are
Sh-
told in
Sherry, after I
time.
watched your video the other night, it's weird because when I went to sleep, I had this. It was a dream. It wasn't something that I was dreaming, but something told me to come back and watch one of your videos again. It's weird because I didn't accept what I saw. I don't know what I was seeing, but I went to sleep and something's telling me when you have another one of your videos, I gotta watch it because maybe I'll see more.
really interesting. Yeah, it's not that. See, sometimes when we've looked back, they've not been there. So you have to really come into the live streams because I think a lot of the time they don't let it be recorded. So be wary of that if you do watch some of it back, that you'll probably not see half of what we see in the live.
If you're not open and you're not completely like fulfilling to them and that, then they're like some
Yeah,
people, they'll come in the room and they'll look at stuff and they'll probably just see a blur or see a light where others are seeing the full body. You know what I mean? You have got to be open and be accepting to them to be able to properly see. But to be quite honest, a lot of the shows that I've been doing in that, a lot of the evidence that I've got in the videos are still in the videos because they do want to be seen. But you do need to be open, as you won't see everything. You won't, because
keep coming into the live
Oh,
streams, guys.
yeah.
If you want, keep
I
getting
think
into
live
Sister
is better.
live streams.
Everything happens there and then.
And also make sure that you are coming in to want to believe in it. Don't come in if you're going to say, "Oh, I'm not going to believe in this." Come in with an open mind and an open heart, and they'll let you see them. Just give it time and make sure that
Yeah,
you're
open mind.
not dismissing the idea of it before you even
Look,
come in.
Wood elf, to be honest, all energies, can cloak and emit fear if they want to. You know what I mean? Not just Bigfoot, but a lot of energies do that. It's a self-defense, protection. Maybe they don't like you in certain areas. You know.
Yeah, well, I hunt a lot, so I'm in the woods. I was when I was younger. I don't hunt as much now, but like I said, that you can feel certain things in the forest when you're in the forest. I've seen movements, I've seen figures, but they change
There's
to.
so much in the woods.
Yeah,
So much in the woods. It's just being open to it.
Yeah,
There is
and
a
it's
multi-dimensional vortexes all around, like the ones in Conyers, Georgia, or Camp Chesterfield in Indiana, just up the road from me. Wow, cool.
On the video last night, me and Sister Kim were in there, yeah, right? And at the end, you see this weird laugh right near my camera. This weird laugh, and there was this energy that come right onto the camera. Sis could see somebody's legs sitting on my camera, like swinging.
Wow. Yeah, well, look at that. I've not watched it back.
They do exist. Anybody that's not gone to my channel is
Oh, they're
PWI
definitely
Spiritual Investigators. Go and look at my short that I caught of Primrose, one of my fairies that was in the graveyard because she followed me there.
Says comment and they'll be able to go to your
I'll
channel.
watch it, Sherry.
Sister Sherry will comment, guys. And for anybody that's not seen it, just click our channel link and go and watch our short. We are going off here in the next couple of minutes, guys. I'm just live for an hour and a half.
They do exist, yeah.
They definitely exist. You just have to have an open mind and do not dismiss the thought even them existing, and you'll see them, I promise you. I would never have told anybody, I would never have admitted I seen fairies last year unless I really did see them, guys. It's not something that you want to admit to, you know. So definitely you've got to believe in them. But dismiss this.
Sherry commented way above, so if you just scroll up and click on her name, you should be able to go to her channel.
Yeah, let me find it.
Oh no, I haven't done it. Let me hang on a minute. I'll just do 2 X's and then you can get my name that I haven't wrote. Oh yeah, I did write that. It was way up the page. There you go. That's my channel.
She has in the description as well, guys. Everybody's channel's in the description. I will add Curtis's channel as well when we go off, but all the descriptions, the channels are in the description, Mysticals and Sherry's. So check them both out, guys.
Oh,
so I'm going to end the live. You go, sis, it's okay.
I'm just saying, just be open-minded. I'm not asking you to believe, guys. I'm just telling you to be open-minded and to realise there's more in this world than what you think, okay? Just be open-minded and you may see something and surprise yourself.
Yeah, none of us ever say you have to believe anything we
No.
say.
No.
None of us ever say that.
No, just keep your mind open. Keep
Mm.
your mind open. Don't close it off. We're not trying to,
That's-
right, you guys? We're not trying to convert people into believing in this stuff.
And we're definitely
We're
not
just
trying to fool
tell
you.
their experiences.
You have your own mind, your own thoughts, and it's up to you if you want to believe or not. And I say it in all of my videos when I do it. You can choose to believe this if you want. To me, I know it's real because it's my evidence. But if you don't want to follow that, that's fine with me. I accept
but
that.
you don't
You know.
believe when you can't not believe. You see her little legs and everything. You see her little
It's
legs.
clear
You
as
see
day. If you don't believe that, oh my God.
her face with the outline of
If
the
you-
face.
And I've
You gotta
actually
believe
not
what
had
you're
anyone
seeing,
come to
right?
me and say that was a
You know,
bird,
I'm
that
not
was a
bringing
dove. No,
Sister
just an
Sherry
angel.
down when I say this. Sister Sherry's not tech savvy enough to know how to do overlays and things, guys. And I'm not bringing her down by saying that. She doesn't know how to do all that fancy stuff.
I don't
So
do all of
do
that
not-
stuff. I don't
yeah.
like doing all of that. I just like to be real. What you see is what you get. That's how I am. That's how I
Me and
always
Sherry
been.
both. Me and Sherry both. We are not tech savvy.
I don't even think I can do it. There you go.
The
Hey,
most
I
I
got
can
a
do, right? Film a video, record a video, upload it onto YouTube or Facebook, and just put it out there. And the most I can do is
What
put
you
a bit
see,
video
what you-
together in a video maker, and just put a few words saying what's in it. That's all I can do, and I'm happy with that. That's just how
Yeah,
it is.
that's me. I have a video on StreamYard I pre-recorded. I don't even know how to get that off and get it uploaded to YouTube.
Oh, I need to show you how to do that. Yeah. Right, guys, on that note, I'm going to end the live tonight. Thank you all for coming in and giving up some of your Saturday to listen to us chatter on. But remember, guys, the point of tonight was to bring awareness to the different things that is out there that is non-human and things. So just be aware of some of the entities, energies, whatever you want to call them, that is in some cemeteries and things, and maybe mask themselves as something else. So that's just a
Protection.
little thing for tonight. Yes. Do your protection, guys, and always
Yeah.
talk to the gatekeeper just to keep yourself safe is my best advice for you. So I will play what he's going to say, Mystical.
I was gonna say, keep an eye on my channel. Because tomorrow is where I've got to go do that. I'm not gonna do the investigation tomorrow in that house. I do have permission to put it on. I'm going to do the interview tomorrow. And then we'll have to go back at a later date because I've got 2 of my team members that work on Sunday, so I've got to figure out a Sunday to go back. Keep an eye on the channel. This is going to be one that there's poltergeist stuff going on. There's where an entity is working on them, causing havoc, causing them to physically fight with each other. There was a murder in there. There was a murder in there where a husband killed his
not good energy,
wife.
then.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. She's reached out to so many paranormal teams. They won't go in. So 3 of us will go in tomorrow and just interview each individual that wants to talk. You know, if they can make it, interview them, and then we'll have to set up when my rest of my team can all, be together, because we need to go in as a team, because there's an extremely powerful entity, in there, and so we want the whole team in there to get as many answers that we can. So keep an eye on the channel.
Definitely, guys. Remember, Mystical's link.
I will, Mystical.
It's in the description, guys. Remember and give us subscribers. Well, remember,
they've got a good team going to their house this time, because Mystical and Mr. Lee and all their team are really, really, they're absolutely amazing. Same as Sister Drew, but obviously Sister Drew's not in that country. Sister Drew would be going with Sister Mystical.
I would be there with bells on.
I would as well.
Yeah.
We'd be here with her. We're like, come on, we're ready.
Let's hear. Manifest, please. Right, okay, everybody, I will let you all go for tonight. Thank you all for coming in, and remember, check out each other. That's the important thing, and stay safe, everybody.
Love you guys.
Blessings from now, and I will
love you,
play out
Sherry.
the
Love you guys.
Love
Mary
you
Poppins.
guys. I love you too, Curtis, brother. Right, let's everybody say goodbye to you in the chat, and I will see you all soon.